What is up, folks? It is now the second day of our 2-day Salem trip. Hold on, there we go. Hair's fine now, hair's fabulous. And we're just going for a walk. We're just going through everything again. We checked out of our hotel, we got breakfast. It was nice, it was a good morning. Then we're just walking around. Right down that road is Rope's Mansion. So we just went there, took a couple more pictures, just checked it out again. Doing some sightseeing, that sort of thing. But right down this little neighborhood road is this nice little private garden area where, yes, the sign says guests welcome, so don't worry. And it's just this scenic little spot. It's a nice little spot where you can just rest, read, enjoy nature. A bunch of squirrels running around. Be at peace, be at one with Mother Nature. It's a rather beautiful, peaceful spot. And, just adds to the niceness that is Salem. Really liking it. If you guys are like me, your whole knowledge of Salem and the witch trials comes from Arthur Miller's play, The Crucible, which, although a great piece of art, I like it. It's not wholly the truth. Like, it's based in history. There is historical fact. However, there is a lot of fiction in it. Like, John Proctor, for instance, never had any kind of intimate relations with Abigail Williams. He was, I believe, close to 50 when he eventually passed, so he would have been in his late 40s. And Abigail was 10, 11 years old at the time. So not, even back in those days, not really something that would have happened. And it really all started with Abigail Williams and her friend. They're getting in trouble, so they go, well, we were bewitched. I like the whole theory behind the whole mold started, people having hallucinations and everything like that. Though I also read an article while researching this that wouldn't have been possible since not everyone was reporting these same, delusions, hallucinations, as well as the like seizures and other things that would have been symptoms of I believe it was a rye. It was a specific kind of mold that sticks to rye. It would have affected the whole populace, but it was really only a couple of, it was reported as only being a couple people per household. And of course, not everyone, it's the Salem witch trials, not everyone was actually suffering these things. Not everyone was being, affected by these symptoms. So, some people were just making it up. Some people were, just playing into it, whether it be for attention or to get heat off of them because they were being, tried as a witch. So they would start, convulsing and, speaking backwards Latin or, just doing crazy stuff and then going, oh, this person's, it was really like a game of who took the cookie from the cookie jar. Well, who's the witch in Salem? And of course, it would end with 20 people executed and over 200 people tried. And then of course you have people like Giles Corey, who, this is not actually fiction, he was crushed to death because he would not submit and say, yes, I worship the devil, I'm a witch, please punish me. Also, while we were here, we have met many locals as well as people who, well, not local, they run shops or businesses around here, so they know a lot of history, and they've shared that with us. For instance, we had just met someone here in this park. Salem, not just, the whole witchcraft and spookiness, but also a very prominent trade port. A lot of spices, tea, very important to the British Empire. Guys, I don't know why Dylan's saying this spot is a vibe. It reminded me of this, but speaking of history, and specifically this little spot that we're in here, this place was the site of a church, and obviously there's no church here anymore. So what ended up happening was it got struck by lightning and burned down, not once, but twice. So they said, all right, let's just make a park out of it. So how's that for kooky? I still don't know as much as I would like to about Salem. There's a lot more that I could learn, and I'm going to learn and continue to share with you. We still have a lot more of Salem to go and visit. We've got more places to see. We've got more information to give. So we're gonna stop by some places. Honestly, the more time that I spend here, the more I seem to fall in love with Salem. So it's definitely
Not the candy cane socks.
It's nice. It's really nice. Well, guys, it would probably help to take the cover off before you start recording. Second time I've done this week, but honestly, never going to be the last time I do it. But surprise, surprise, we actually found a cemetery that we can record at. Obviously, we can't do any investigation, but we can get some B-roll and walk around and check out the history. There's actually tours coming through here, so we'll just keep off to the side, avoid the tours, let them do their thing, and pay our respects and showcase the cemetery for you guys. So here we have a Brigadier General, Frederick Westlander, quoted as the bravest of the brave. Born in 1821. Accomplished soldier, poet, explorer, and engineer. Wow. Oh wow, for the Union Pacific. Wow. They don't build them like they used to. I mean, if you hear about, all these guys from like the 1800s and stuff like that, they were soldiers, poets, men of higher learning and, capabilities, writers. It's crazy what they used to do back in the day. I'm pretty sure a lot of them were also the wealthy, so when you have the wealth, you can just, do those things. So, although I don't know Mr. Brigadier General Frederick Westlander, so maybe he wasn't. Maybe he actually, made that. Exactly. Maybe he made himself that. Maybe he came into that. Like he built that himself up to that. In which case, that becomes even more impressive. And I say, I'll tip my hat off to you, except I don't have a hat, so kudos. Some people actually did build themselves up to that, which is honestly incredible and inspiring. So, listen guys, aspire to be like people back in the old days that just did like 6 different things that were all impressive. I'm still figuring out how to do that. B. Morgan. Can't tell the full names, but looks to be a couple buried there. And then look at that. This is certainly unique. There's a few of them too. And if you guys can see it, there's at least one that has some steel or iron bars not drilled into it, but basically attached to it as it broke off. And there's some that are cracked and breaking, which, I mean, it happens. These stones, as my friend May, who used to make headstones, as she explained, back in the day, they weren't really built to withstand this amount of age and wear and tear. So this inevitably does happen, which is actually why we went from headstones that look like that to the giant slabs that we have now, because those have metal inside of them with, I think it's like whether it's granite or concrete or whatever material that they choose to use around the what is it, rebar? Yeah, it's like a rebar skeleton with stone around it, so it's a lot more durable. And so, well, this has definitely got a lot of history inside, like this whole cemetery. A lot of history in here, as we can see with Brigadier General. There's also Burying Point Cemetery, which has John Hawthorne resting there, as well as several others. And I believe they also have another, I don't know if it was a general or a colonel, but I remember reading about it, but unfortunately I didn't commit it to memory, but there was someone in the military there who had a successful military career. Not all of, as was said earlier, not all of the history here was centered around the Salem witch trials. The general right over there that we just visited, he was in the Civil War, as well as helping with the Union Pacific Railroad, which, if you guys don't know, that was the first railroad that went and connected sea to shining sea, the Pacific and the Atlantic.
Man, I don't want to bust out my camera again. I kind of want a B-roll of that.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
That is really cool. The tomb of Benjamin Goodhue Eso, 1789. That's really cool. You know, guys, I just had an epiphany. I think I realized why I'm, falling in love with Salem. The more time that I spend here, the place where Dylan and I grew up, basically. Dylan, Patuxent Village.
Yes.
You getting those same vibes as me?
Oh yeah.
Like, rooted in history, obviously same architecture, early New England architecture. Involved in the Revolution, the British Empire, and obviously similar, headstones and all that, and very, very similar culture. It's starting to make sense why this place is growing so quickly on me, even after only spending actually a total of going on my 3rd day ever in Salem. So, and I haven't even done that much compared to, I am just scratching the tip of the iceberg of this city, and I am just enamored with it. Hey guys, what's going on? Coming at you guys post-op. I don't know why I didn't think to really do much of an introduction for what you're about to see. I was lucky enough to interview the owner for the International Monster Museum, just a little short impromptu. He's a really cool guy. His name's John. He builds haunts. Well, you'll see when he kind of talks about what he does. But he's going to show off some of the pieces that he has. Guys, if you have any chance to either come to Salem and go through these attractions, or he does also attractions across the country. If you happen to go to one of those, check him out. It's a great time. Yeah, let's start up there.
Okay, so up here, this is one of my favorite pieces. This is made by Stephanie Stensrud, and a local artist here in Salem. And as you can see, she did a lot of the Stephen King portrayals on here.
Yeah.
So you have the different versions of Pennywise, Pet Sematary, Cujo. This is Mr. Barlow, the head vampire from Salem's Lot.
Huh.
Carrie, the werewolf hand from Silver Bullet. Drew Barrymore from Firestarter. Jack Nicholson from The Shining.
Classic.
Over here we've got Creepshow, one of my favorites. And even Mr. Barlow was actually trying to make it out of the coffin. On top of the coffin there's the Twin Towers, which is well. But nice piece. This painting was created by Bill Morrison, an artist who is kind of famous in the macabre world. And he really, you can give him a suggestion of what you might like to see, but he likes to paint his wildest nightmares, and you give him a suggestion of a witch, and it will never be a traditional something. It'll be something that, I said, something that correlates with nature, and this is what he came out with, and it's quite frightening. It's very unusual, and you never know what you're going to get with him, but he always has the certain edge, and I can tell a Bill Morrison painting from a mile away.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Very, very unique. This piece, I had an artist do a version of the Boogeyman for me, so you can see this hand-blown glass eyes. This is translucent. It's silicone, so you get a wonderful, the silicone, you get all of these fantastic, it looks very transparent, so you get capillaries and veins at all different opacities, and it really gives you a realistic look. Acrylic teeth and gums. Again, this is a different kind of silicone, platinum silicone. The same artist, this Rob Kowalski. I asked for a very sorrowful looking Frankenstein, and he's doing a lot of big time movies now and things like this. His career has hugely taken off.
Nice.
He also took a werewolf suit from the movie and took a shot of it washed up on the beach, and all the newspapers and picked it up, and Strange Creature Found, and millions and millions and millions and millions of hits, and he kind of became famous through that because the suit was so convincing. But I had him do a very sorrowful looking Frankenstein that didn't look like Boris Karloff. It looked more like something from the book. And he delivered, no pun intended.
Oh.
This here, the artist actually cast her own daughter's face and hands, and then put it onto the painting, and then proceeded to apply resin to give it the wet look for the hair. But really accomplished the look. We actually had an employee quit over it because they were so spooked by it.
Really?
Very, very unique. One of my favorites over here
Oh, the wolf man.
is this werewolf. Is by a spectacular artist named Ricky Vitas. So Ricky Vitas created this wolf, and all the hair is applied by hand. It's all real human hair from National Hair Technologies in Lawrence, Massachusetts. So a lot of people don't know that that National Hair Technologies supplies all the hair for the motion picture industry. Gorilla suits, monkey suits, wigs, beards, and real human hair. Hand glass blown eyes, acrylic teeth, and you can even see he used different colors of hair, all applied with a punching gun. Painstaking, weeks of work, you know, to do this kind of work.
Each individual hair.
Each
one
individual
at a
hair,
time.
one at a time.
Wow.
And so, but you can see how he accented it with like the grayer hair to get the shadows, to capture the shadows, and then put some grays in there. And the funny thing is, I had it was so perfect, and then he basically said, oh my God, he said he came in to visit this, he was wanted to see his piece, and he said, it needs to look more battle torn. And he said he came in and he messed up all the hair, and I was like, oh my God, you know, I would not, but he's a creator, so I let him touch it, and now it does look more like it's been in a scuff,
Yeah.
you know. Over here, this is a bottle of vampire blood,
Huh.
okay, that we got at an auction, and it does seem to test out in terms of the date. We don't know whether it's real vampire blood or not, but they certainly attest to it, and we certainly paid a good price for it. Vampire killing kit
Oh, cool.
as well. Even has the silver bullets here and the stake, and but they were very common to have these vampire killing kits. And a lot of them are created now for entertainment purposes like this. A lot of them, you can see them online, are very interesting items. But Ripley's actually has one of the biggest ones in the world that they keep in the vault, and it has some pretty amazingly creepy items and crosses that come out with, you know, knives and that are made of pure steel. You know, a silver.
That's awesome.
Over here, skeleton. This piece is kind of interesting because this is Tom Cruise, meant to be with a vampire. Another glass eyes and things like this, made from like the life cast of his face. Here we have a wonderful painting, and the artist then took foam and carved the foam and put like actual vines and over that, and then they kind of hard coated over it to give it an unusual look. This particular artist is a Toro. He created this this kind of a Yeti creature, and it's real yak hair.
Oh, wow.
So it's real yak hair, and I love how he did the wind-burned sections of the face,
Yeah.
which is very unusual. This one, and behind here with all the
All
eyeballs,
the eyes.
was basically created by me during COVID. I found a bunch of those half Christmas ornaments that are clear that you put things in,
Yeah.
and just painstakingly painted them as eyeballs and came up with that.
That's incredible.
Much to my wife's dismay. I'm like, what are you making? So it's just a collaboration inside of artists from all over the world. And we wanted to make it different than the typical slasher, Jason, Freddy type of stuff.
Yeah.
We wanted to show different artists get different results, and hopefully the people will enjoy the quality of the creatures and I just think the uniqueness of the collection. There's no two alike.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what we truly try to strive for. So we're adding new monsters every year. I've got another 400 in my home. So time to open up another place or just keep adding. So that's what we have for you.
That's amazing. And with this one, is it the same sort of process as with the Wolfman?
Absolutely. He'll do a clay. He'll sculpt it in clay first,
Okay.
and then he'll make a plaster mold of the clay. Right? Take the clay out, clean it out, put the mold back together and clean it all out. Then he'll pour latex into that mold. Probably the first pull he'll take out will take all the contaminants out of the mold.
Yeah.
Do a nice thick pour and take that out, and then he'll have to trim off all where the seams were of the mold. Airbrush it, right? Get the eyes just right and everything, and then start applying the hair. And as you do it, you apply from the back moving forward.
Okay.
So the layers would make sense. Do the back rows, next row comes over, comes over, comes over. So there's a process to it.
Interesting.
So very few people in the mask world do or like to do hair work, and especially with hair that's like this, that is not easy to work with, like a straighter hair. This would probably be a real pain in the neck, a labor of love.
Oh yeah.
But he's a great artist.
Yeah, and I mean it shows too. Like
Yeah. It's very unusual. It's not something you're ever going to buy in a store. He only made, I think, 10 of them. So,
Oh, okay.
So you know, I was lucky enough to acquire one.
Yeah. How did you, if you don't mind my asking, how did you get into all this?
I grew up watching monster movies and Dark Shadows.
Okay.
I ran home from kindergarten to watch Dark Shadows. Loved monsters. First it was dinosaurs. And I thought, wait a minute, this is Dracula. Look at this. He gets to turn into a bat and a cloud of smoke, and he gets the girl, and he's way cooler than dinosaurs. So, you know, I never stopped. To me, Christmas was just timed. I was like, oh, get this out of the way so I can get to Halloween quicker. I was like one of those kids, and then I was heartbroken when I bought a mask at Woolworths. My mother took me to Woolworths and bought one of those Ben Cooper masks with a little elastic and the onesie. And here I am, I'm this big. I walk up, and I'm 4 years old, and I thought they'd be terrified of me because now I'm Frankenstein. I have all this power. And they were like, what a cute little kid. Oh, take your mask off. Here's some candy. And I was heartbroken.
Oh.
I couldn't believe that I didn't install that fear into them, you know. But so I think as a result of it, I went in a haunted house. They took me in when I was 10.
Okay.
Terrified me. I saw the stuffing hanging out of the witch, so I said, it's so fake, and I grabbed the stuffing, and she grabbed me. I ran all the way out of the house to the parking lot, and I said, I'll never go in a haunted house again in my life. And now I build them all over the world.
Also, something that I forgot to film for you guys was the proper outro. When we left, it was just really hectic, and then I was gonna just film in the car ride home, but traffic was it was bad. It was really bad, guys. But thank you for watching. Had a fantastic time in Salem. I can't say enough good about my trip, seriously. It was phenomenal. I can't wait to go back again. I really cannot wait to go back again. I think probably my favorite part of this trip was getting to interview John about his collection and seeing all of the different things that he has up front in that museum. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Let me know if you did. Leave a comment, a like, subscribe. It always helps out, guys. It helps out a lot. And if you guys want, I can maybe work towards doing more travel vlog videos for you guys as well. I definitely want to do spots with more history. You know, maybe if it's not a high touristy, you know, packed season, I can film some investigations in these historical spots. Who knows what the future holds, guys. Have a good one.